Greetings, everybody. I'm 72 years old. Just 5 years younger than the catastrophe which struck Palestine in the Nakba of 48, which is the source of October the 7th. In all my years on this planet, I have never witnessed such horrors as the retribution Israel has unleashed against the entire people of Palestine. The televised genocide is aided and abetted by this abject apology for a Labour government, by the United States and other Western governments who love to pontificate about the liberal values they share with Israel. Well, it's true. Israel does share the values of the colonizers who have for many generations plundered the earth, treating native peoples with racist contempt. In all my years on this planet, I have never been so ashamed of Jews who parrot Israel's lies, denying its responsibility for multiple war crimes and breaches of international law, throwing all the blame for tens of thousands of Palestinian deaths onto Hamas. At last, amid images of starving infants, breaches are appearing even within the Jewish Zionist establishment. 36 of the 300 members of the Board of Deputies of British Jews have publicly dissociated themselves from Israel's decision to break the ceasefire and block all food and humanitarian aid from entering Gaza. Such small shifts are welcome, but the Board of Deputies continues to defend the Israeli state and to declare that those who protest against the genocide, that's you, are a threat to British Jews and to public order. These completely unfounded charges are being used by the British state to justify repressive policing of demonstrations and the use of counter-terror laws to intimidate journalists and activists. Following the mass arrests here on January the 18th, the Jewish bloc formed a delegation to meet the Metropolitan Police. To date, we are still being denied the chance to be heard. The Met needs to understand that large and growing numbers of Jews in Britain and around the world are horrified by Israel's cruelty towards Palestinians, flouting every tenet of Jewish ethics. We have marched alongside hundreds of thousands of non-Jews in huge demonstrations calling for peace and justice, and we are outraged to hear them denounced as anti-Semitic hate marches. Such rhetoric is dangerous and divisive and must not be allowed to dictate the police approach to legitimate protest. To finish, let me quote from a statement by Global Jews for Palestine, a collective of Jewish groups in 19 countries. They said, "This Nakba day, we are watching children in Gaza die of malnutrition in real time. Now, today, our government must take action. Stop arming Israel. Sanctions now. Israel's impunity must end." Keep on fighting, comrades.
In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. Educator and activist. Please give a very warm welcome to Salwa Abu Warda.
My full name is Salwa Naeem Abu Warda. My father Naim Abu Wardi, was born on his land in Palestine in 1941, as was his father and his father before him for as many generations back as we can count. When he was 7, my father was forcibly displaced from his home and his land, along with over 750,000 Palestinians during the Nakba in 1948. He died in exile here in London earlier this year, never having been given the right to return home. For Palestinians, the Nakba is not just an isolated event in 1948. For us, the Nakba never ended and has been 77 years of ongoing dispossession, erasure, and exile. And when we look at Gaza and the West Bank today, what we are witnessing is a continuation and an acceleration of the same genocidal, settler colonial, racist, Zionist policies of displacement, dispossession, discrimination, and destruction that are the bedrock of the Zionist project. Nakba Day serves not only as a day of commemoration, but also as a living testament to a deep wound that continues to bleed in every refugee camp, every obliterated home, every child pulled from the rubble or born under the shadow of a brutal, belligerent, illegal occupation. As we commemorate the Nakba here today, we do so under the unbearable weight of genocide and extermination in Gaza. Outside of Gaza, to be a Palestinian in this moment is to go through the motions of life while experiencing untold grief. To be Palestinian is to feel betrayed by a world governed by a morally corrupt ruling class that is propped up by an oppressive, exploitative, extractive system that puts profits over people and that enables and facilitates this genocide. A ruling class and a system that does not protect or represent the masses, like everyone here today and millions more around the world who are against this genocide and that have spoken up and come out in solidarity with Palestine. The unprecedented swelling of support for Palestine keeps growing as the unspeakable, depraved, sadistic crimes that Israel is committing against the Palestinian people are laid bare for the world to see. Israel and its partners in crime seek to erase all traces of Palestinian existence, to uproot us and replace us, but it will fail. Because our land lives in our hearts, and in this lifetime, and the one after, and the one after that, we will always choose Palestine. There is little that endures more than the Palestinians' collective hope for justice, liberation, and return. For Palestinians, commemorating the Nakba is an act of resistance. It is a way of saying, we remember, we exist, we refuse to forget, and we refuse to be erased. Commemorating the Nakba is to honor the memory of the past while committing to Palestinian liberation and our inevitable return in the future. My father's story of untold suffering, loss, and trauma, of incredible achievement despite all odds, of dignity and integrity, of an unbroken bond to the land he belonged to, is just one of millions of Palestinian stories that will never be forgotten and will continue to be the life force behind a relentless, ever-growing, increasingly loud rallying call